Hey folks, welcome back. Join the fun as we explore what's going on in this little planet of ours. You know, the one that's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour while we all pretend everything's under control. Today, we're zooming in on a massive news story that's got the world buzzing: the Israel-Hamas captive exchange. It's like a real-life spy thriller, but with way higher stakes. We'll break down exactly what it is, what's happening right now, and most importantly, how this could sneak into your daily life, maybe even putting your wallet or safety on alert. Let's dive in. Alright, let's start with the basics, because if you're like me, your brain might still be foggy from that morning coffee. The Israel-Hamas captive exchange is essentially a prisoner swap on steroids, part of a broader US-backed ceasefire deal aimed at cooling down the long-simmering conflict in Gaza and the wider Middle East. Picture this. For the past 2 years, since the escalation in 2023, Hamas has been holding Israeli hostages captured during raids, while Israel has detained thousands of Palestinians, many without formal charges. It's like a bad game of capture the flag, but with real lives hanging in the balance. In this first phase of a 20-point plan, Hamas is releasing the remaining 20 living Israeli hostages they've held captive. These folks are being transported back to Israel via Red Cross vehicles. Think humanitarian Uber, but with international observers watching every move. On top of that, Hamas is handing over the bodies of 28 confirmed dead Israelis for proper burial. In return, Israel is freeing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. Many of these Palestinians were held in administrative detention, which is basically Israel's way of saying, "We think you're sketchy, so you're staying put without a trial." It's a huge number. Imagine emptying out a small town's worth of people from prisons overnight. What's going on right now? Fast forward to today, October 13th, 2025, and things are moving at warp speed. Or at least as fast as diplomacy allows, which is usually snail-paced, but with fireworks. The ceasefire kicked off last Friday, and since then, we've seen emotional reunions across Israel. Families are hugging their loved ones after 2 agonizing years, calling it a, quote, historic day and a happy day for the nation. On the flip side, Palestinians are returning to northern Gaza in droves, tens of thousands strong, only to find their homes turned into post-apocalyptic movie sets. Drone footage shows entire neighborhoods leveled, with over 295 bodies pulled from the rubble so far. Enter President Donald Trump, who's back in the spotlight like he never left. He just addressed the Israeli Knesset, promising a golden age for Israel and the Middle East. Not everyone was thrilled. Some left-wing lawmakers interrupted with signs demanding he recognize Palestine. Trump's now jetting off to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt to co-host a peace summit with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Leaders from 27 countries are showing up, but notably absent: Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Meanwhile, tensions are simmering. Israeli officials are threatening to arrest any Palestinians in the West Bank caught celebrating the prisoner releases, because nothing says peace like cracking down on joy. In Gaza, a prominent journalist, Saleh al-Jafarawi, was shot dead by an Israeli-backed militia, and reports are surfacing of Israeli forces torching civilian infrastructure before pulling back, including a sanitation plant. Oof, that's not just destructive, it's literally flushing away any goodwill. Protests are popping up worldwide too. Tens of thousands rallied in London, Sydney, and Oslo, demanding justice for Palestinians. Former UK Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn called the 20-point plan disturbing, but a step forward since the bombs have stopped. And in a side note, Israel finally released the last of 145 international activists from the Gaza Freedom Flotilla, who were abducted while trying to deliver aid. These folks were on boats named the Conscience. Ironic, right? How does this impact you directly? Okay, now the part where we get personal. Because news isn't just headlines. It's stuff that could hit your doorstep. First off, if you're in the US, this is your tax dollars at work. The deal is US-backed, with Trump front and center, so any escalation or breakdown could drag America deeper into the mix, potentially meaning more military aid or even troops. Remember, the US has bases in the region, and instability there has a habit of spilling over. On the danger front, if this peace holds, it could reduce global terrorism risks. Fewer hostages mean less leverage for groups like Hamas, potentially lowering the chance of attacks abroad. But if it crumbles, we're talking possible renewed rocket fire, airstrikes, or worse, and that could put travelers in danger. Planning a trip to the Middle East? Double-check those advisories. Places like Israel or Egypt might see protests or unrest. Even domestically, heightened tensions could amp up security at airports or events, making your commute a hassle. Economically, buckle up for bank account turbulence. The Middle East is oil central, and any whiff of conflict sends prices soaring. Gas could jump, inflating everything from your grocery bill to airline tickets. If you're invested in stocks, energy sectors might boom or bust. Think Exxon or Chevron riding the waves. And if you're in tech or finance, supply chains could snag if shipping routes like the Suez Canal get dicey again. For everyday folks, this might mean higher interest rates if global uncertainty spooks the Fed, affecting your mortgage or loans. Reunions are heartwarming, but the destruction in Gaza? It's a humanitarian crisis that could lead to refugee waves, straining international aid and possibly your community's resources. Plus, with reports of widespread ruin, no water, food, or shelter for returnees, expect calls for donations or activism that might pull at your heartstrings and wallet. There you have it, folks. The Israel-Hamas captive exchange in all its complex glory. It's a glimmer of hope after years of heartbreak, but with plenty of pitfalls ahead. Stay tuned to the channel for updates, and remember, on this little planet of ours, change can happen fast, so keep your eyes open and your sense of humor intact. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like, comment below what news topic I should cover next, and subscribe for more. Peace out.